Am I the asshole for getting mad and crying when my boyfriend ruined my hair? Throwaway because he might see this, but at this point I'm not really sure I care if he does. I, 18 female, black, have been dating my boyfriend, 18 male, white, for a year now. We went to the same high school, graduated together, we were best friends pre-relationship, so we've always been pretty close. Ever since I was very young, I've always been a perfectionist when it comes to my appearance, especially my hair. Wigs, blowouts, silk press, braids, you name the hairstyle, I've had it, and all my friends and family members know that I'm very cautious of what people do around my hair when it's fairly new, no touching it, no playing in it, etc. Well, recently, I got a blowout. It was my first blowout in years, and I went to a salon I had never been to before to get it. It costed about $120, and it was worth it. I felt beautiful in my hair. I also paid for my blowout with my own money. This is important for the rest of the story. Fast forward about a day after my trip to the salon. I meet up with my boyfriend so we could hang out. He seemed to really like my hair, and I gave him the usual rundown of what he can and cannot do around it, but I put a lot more emphasis on not playing in it and not getting any liquid near my hair as it can revert it back faster and it would be a waste of money. While I was telling him this, he was joking around about how he didn't think it was that serious. But I brushed it off as he plays around like that, making fun of my perfectionism. A lot as a joke prior to this situation. A few hours later, we're relaxing on the couch, when he goes to get a drink, and comes back moments later with a bottled water. He looks extremely suspicious, laughing and giggling while looking at me. But I didn't think anything of it, until he starts coming a lot closer towards me, water open, hovering it over me while laughing and saying things like, "A little water won't fuck it up," and, "It's not that serious, chill," while I'm trying to get him away from me. My struggle made me hit his wrist, which made the water spill all over me. Half of it went directly on top of my head, the other half on my clothes and the couch. I immediately jump up and start yelling at him, asking him why he would do that to me while trying to take off my drenched shirt. During this argument, he acts as if he did nothing wrong, and says he didn't think it was a big deal. This set me off, and I run upstairs crying while searching inside of his linen closet for a towel to dry me off. It's been about 3 days since I've been over at his house. He's tried to contact me multiple times, and he has cash-apped me $150 to get my hair redone. I feel like he doesn't know how he actually made me feel and is trying to save face by sending me money. But on the other hand, I'm starting to think I may have overreacted and that this is all kinda stupid. Am I the asshole? Update May 24, 23. This blew up more than I thought it would. Reddit is genuinely helpful, thank you all for the advice. I've read all your comments and is like to answer some questions before I have a proper update to give you all. 1. Did you educate him prior to this situation? Did he know what he did was wrong? Whenever I get a style that my boyfriend has never seen on me before, I always tell him what he can and cannot do. For example, the first time I got Bantu knots, I told him not to touch my hair without asking since it could ruin the style and it would make me uncomfortable. Or, if I have wigs or weave, I tell him not to pull on it, or touch it without asking. I try my best to educate him on my hair. He does his own research, sometimes, although I'm not sure if this could be considered research. When I feel like doing my own hair, he watches me or watches the tutorial I pull up and he asks questions, so he understands some processes when it comes to my hair. 2. Why did you bring race into this? My boyfriend and I come from 2 very different cultural backgrounds, upbringings. I'm African American as I stated, and I grew up around a lot of black women who taught me how to care for my hair, and that I should treasure it. He is white, and he grew up in an area that's 50-50 when it comes to white and other POC population, if that makes any sense. We come from completely different backgrounds. He only recently became exposed to black culture when he transferred to our high school, 70% black there, and started being friends with, dating me. He has bone-straight hair, mine is 4A. As you can see, we're very different. I thought it would be important to bring race into it to give some context as to why I was initially angry and upset at him. I'm not sure how to respond to the people saying that I shouldn't bring race into it. 3. Does he make fun of you for your perfectionism often, and are you laughing with him? Yes and yes. When he makes fun of me, I never thought it was to be genuinely mean, although I'm starting to overthink that now, and I usually get on him about something silly back, like his outfit or something he does weird, like the way he eats pizza or something stupid like that. Where I'm from we call it joning lol. I appreciate everyone who commented, even the people who weren't that nice to me. I'll update again once I talk to him. Not the asshole. This was really disrespectful of him. If he is genuinely remorseful, there's hope. The Cash App is a good start. I hope you're okay. Being disrespected like that by someone you're supposed to be able to trust hurts, no matter what it's about. Not the asshole. I would be incredibly pissed if I specifically asked someone to respect a certain boundary and they thought it was funny to violate it. Is it common for him to tease you about being a perfectionist? And if so, do you typically laugh along with him? If that's the case, I'd give him a little grace in that he figured this was another thing where you are perhaps over the top. It is also good he sent you money. It sounds like he has done some reflecting and realized he fucked up. But if he is frequently giving you crap about being a perfectionist and you aren't laughing along with him, then he's probably too immature to respect your needs, boundaries. And by sending you money he probably thinks he fixed the issue. Not the asshole, that was a really crappy thing to do. It's fair to be angry. It's also cool that he sent you money to get it redone. He sounds remorseful. Being angry was fair, but so is forgiveness if you're up to it. Not the asshole girl, I want to tell you something that I wish women would have told me when I was your age. The cruelty was the point. This was not an accident. He knew what would happen, because you told him. He knew of the time and money, but he did not care. You've been together how long, and you've had how many hairstyles, yet he doesn't care about how that may be different for you. Moreover, when called out, he doubled down. Don't try to guess out motives, because more likely than not things are as simple as they seem. You told him. He didn't care. And people can only treat you as you allow them. I'm really sorry girl, because appointments, and good dudes, can be difficult to get sometimes. Not the asshole. You told him repeatedly not to do this. He did it anyway and completely dismissed your feelings about it. Of course he feels bad about it now, and it's good that he's paying you back, but the money isn't the issue. The issue is him ignoring your request and thinking that acting this way is funny. He needs to get it through his head that this isn't okay. Am I the asshole for yelling at her to stop causing a scene? My fiancée, Hannah, 29 female, myself, 28 male, and our 3 kids booked a vacation months ago to come visit my family in Maine this week. We were originally supposed to stay at a hotel, but when we got here we were told that they overbooked and essentially every other hotel was full, so we ended up needing to room up at my sister's house. This is incredibly stressful, given how my sister is, but I obviously have a higher tolerance because it's my sister and I was raised by her in this home. Now, my sister is the type who will run her mouth about T-rump, completely unwarranted. She brings up events as much as possible, or just other drama in general. She is an extremist. She also has 3 dogs who run the house and are completely untrained. As in begging for food at your feet, whining non-stop, jumping on top of you if you are sitting on the couch, etc. As I said, it's a very stressful environment, but again, I have a higher tolerance. My only goal right now is to keep my fiancée comfortable and calm because she gets pissed off incredibly easy when it comes to untrained dogs and media drama. Unfortunately, staying with my sister was literally our only option. So we have been here for 2 nights now and Hannah is already completely done. This was supposed to be a 2-week trip. She's becoming snappy and the entire family is picking up on it and asking what's wrong and making snide comments to me about her attitude. Like Hannah has been snapping at the dogs to get away from her and the kids, or has been passive-aggressively putting her headphones in whenever my sister starts bringing up basically anything. And while I understand, it's also putting me in a bad spot. The final straw was this morning. She was sitting on the couch with a coffee and one of the dogs jumped up on her and spilled her coffee. She snapped, "Get the fuck away from me," and then got up and stormed out of the house to go sit in the car with her headphones. She came in an hour later and stood hovering over our youngest son and continuously slammed the dog out of the way whenever she started begging at our son's feet. So I kind of hissed at her to stop causing a fucking scene because the whole family is just beside themselves at this point and we are all walking on eggshells. She goes, "A scene? A fucking scene? Seriously? I have been trampled, jumped on, had boiling hot coffee spilled on me and food is being ripped from our kids' hands. All while being cornered by drama every fucking time I breathe. Calm your fucking family down." She left and the family is pissed at both me and her. Her for causing a fight and me for not voicing why she was so pissed, etc. There's other stuff too. Like the dogs have been taking the blankets off the kids at night and curling up with the blankets on the floor and it's cold here. Or my sister keeps recruiting her and I to do chores around the house because Hannah is able and my sister is not. She is obese and can't move around too much without being extremely winded. So there's more to it, but the most of it is the dogs and extremist drama. Hannah did voice that she doesn't want to hear the drama because it pisses her off. She was very blunt with my family about it. When she told them this, however, they pulled the whole, "So you're offended by the truth" comments. As I said, my sister is an extremist and if you don't agree with her, you must be an idiot. She's also said she didn't want the dogs near her or the kids while they are eating. We were told it's their house, so Hannah was 100% vocal. She didn't turn into an ass until her requests were ignored. "You are the asshole and you should just go home. Why stay for 2 weeks when your fiancé is miserable? My only goal right now is to keep my fiancé comfortable and calm." That doesn't sound true at all. You are the asshole. You clearly don't give even a single fuck about your fiancé's comfort and well-being. You are the asshole if you can't find a hotel. Then try an Airbnb. And if you can't swing that, then go home. Don't put your family in an uncomfortable position. Leave, and take your family home. Go back home. Am I the asshole for telling my friend that she was making my husband uncomfortable? 26 female. I'm a SOM, so I turned to using the Bumble Friends app to meet other moms and set up play dates with our kids. It went smoothly and I met a single mom, 23 female, with a son around my boy's age, so we started talking and set up play dates. She lived with her parents, so she wanted to have playdates at my house or at a park, which was totally fine. Our boys got along great and it was really sweet. My husband was always a part of the play dates or around the house when they came by, and he enjoyed the occasional conversation. She started looking for a boyfriend and talking to guys. No problem there, do you boo-boo? And found a guy who adored both her and her son. That sounded like a win in my book. The next time she came over for a play date and dinner, something seemed off. She barely spoke to me even when I initiated a conversation. My husband comes out of our room to sit down and watch the kids play, and she immediately started talking to him about this, that and everything. If he'd been going to the gym, how his day has been, how work was. I figured it was normal conversation topics and didn't think much of it until she started following him around the house everywhere he went. He moved to the dining room, she followed. He went to the bathroom, she waited outside the door. He finally went and sat in his gaming area while I was sitting in the living room with her eating, and she moved to go sit basically at his feet. She then got a call from the guy she was talking to and she rushed out the door with her son. My husband told me he felt very uncomfortable with the whole night and asked me to no longer have play dates when he is around. So no play dates at home and it will just be me, her, and the kids. We had planned to go to the zoo, but my husband didn't want to go anymore and my son wanted to stay with his dad, and I didn't want to cancel last minute, so I went to the zoo with her and her son. I bought her son a stuffed animal and we all fed the giraffes and waited to see the live show. The only time she talked to me was to ask about my husband, not even myself or my son. So I told her the truth, that the other night made him uncomfortable and he has requested to be left out of playdates. She simply shrugged and said she had to go, so we ended the zoo date and went our separate ways. That night I get a message at 3 a.m. from her saying I was an asshole and a horrible friend and to enjoy my time in hell, then blocked me on everything. Am I the asshole for telling her she made my husband uncomfortable? What should I have done instead? Edit 1. We had a total of 5 play dates spread out over 4 months, and my husband would play with both boys at the park or at home, so neither one felt left out. We had a few girls' days where we went out and ran errands or went to eat. Her and I talked every day, but mostly about our days or the kids. We had a good friendship going, so I don't understand how it went under so fast. Edit 2. My comments are disappearing, so I will add this here. I never met the guy she was talking to, but she had a picture of him and told me about her first date when it happened. It was at her parents' house and supposedly went well. She asked me if I could watch her son the weekend after the zoo date so she could go on a second date with him. Seeing as she blocked me on everything the night of the zoo date, watching her son didn't happen. I realize she could have made him up and used fake pictures, but I don't know what that would have accomplished. Not the asshole. She was crossing the line, and what about the guy she was gushing about that adored her and her son? Had you ever seen a picture of him or anything? If not, I have a sneaking suspicion that she was talking about your husband. Not the asshole. The new boundaries are in response to her behavior towards your husband. Her saying otherwise is her playing victim, and trying to shift blame. But, as a few others have stated, I'd be concerned as the cause of this shift in behavior. extra attention towards your husband, and not wanting to be around you. Be alert. She's a bunny boiler for sure. Not the asshole. And she did you the favor of blocking you. There is something up in her behavior at your home and after talking to her. Be glad the woman is gone. Not the asshole. She sounds unhinged. You are better off not having her around. Sorry for the boys. Am I the asshole for not making my 2-year-old say please? My parents-in-law, who I absolutely love, watch our toddler, 2 female, often. This is something they ask us to do at least once a week. She is the only grandchild on this side and my in-laws live less than 10 minutes away. 99% of the time this is a lovely arrangement for everyone involved. They love to spoil my daughter loves the attention, and we love the break. A problem has arisen recently though about my daughter's boundaries. My husband and I, both 29, have been very firm about everyone listening to my daughter when she says no about something to do with her body, no kisses, hugs, whatever. We noticed my Mill in particular was no longer listening when my daughter refused kisses and hugs. This is probably because it was only recently that she was regularly saying no to love from my in-laws. So last week we gave the whole family a heads up that toddler was rejecting love more often lately and reminder that she was to be listened to about her body unless it was a safety health issue. Everyone agreed and we went out of town for a week. Well, the in-laws wanted to see the toddler after we got back and that's when things got messy. See, in the week we had been gone my toddler had picked up 2 new phrases to tell us no, go away, and leave me alone. My daughter is quite articulate for her age, so these phrases were funny but not shocking to her father and me. Unfortunately, my Mill did not find it funny. When we were picking her up last night all my little girl wanted was mommy and daddy. When asked if she wanted to give kisses goodbye to her grandparents she told them to leave her alone. Having heard her say this all last week, I thought nothing of it. I simply told my in-laws not to feel bad and that she was saying that to everyone right now. But this morning I was greeted by a long text from my in-laws asking my husband and I to teach my toddler manners. And that if she was going to say things like, leave me alone, she needed to add, please, at the end. I was shocked. And upset. Both at the insinuation that we don't attempt to teach our daughter nice words, and at the insistence that a 2-year-old needed to say please all the time. As far as I'm aware most of the children my daughter's age yell and hit and cry when they are tired and want to be left alone. I was baffled that my in-laws were insisting she say please to them. I sent them a long text back, nicely, conveying what I felt about their expectations for our 2-year-old. And then let them know that we do ask her to say please often, but that we don't expect her to pick up this behavior for a long time. So am I the asshole for not expecting my 2-year-old to be polite when she's tired? The only reason I'm not sure is because my husband thought nothing of their text. Thought it was a reasonable request. And maybe I'm just being a mama bear or coddling her. Or something. ETA. A lot of people are missing the part when I said that we do ask my daughter to say please and thank you. We just don't expect her to do it naturally without being reminded by an adult law. And I simply didn't ask her to do it last night because it was past her bedtime and she was on the verge of a meltdown. I was just trying to get her home ASAP. ETA 2. Many of you think that I think it's funny when my daughter says go away or leave me alone. Nope. We thought it was funny that she picked up those phrases. We have no idea where she learned them since she doesn't go to daycare. We thought it was unexpected and therefore funny. Like haha, where did she learn that? Obviously it hurt our feelings the first 20-ish times she told us to go away. And we imperfect parents remember to ask her to say please about 60% of the time. But we are also adults and realize she's just using a phrase she doesn't quite understand to convey that she wants to not be touched, or allowed to be grumpy for a few minutes, or even she's trying to poop and needs privacy. Some of y'all obviously spend zero time around toddlers. There is no reason why you can't start saying, nicely, say please, when she makes these announcements. She won't get it right away but the only way she will eventually learn is if someone models it for her. That's how language is learned. You are the asshole, does this kid go to daycare? Can only imagine how people that aren't conditioned to love her are enjoying being told to go away all the time. If your kid is advanced and articulate, she can learn to have boundaries and manners at the same time. I think being shocked and upset that your in-laws were a bit hurt after a visit is a bit of an overreaction. A kid that can say, leave me alone, can obviously pronounce, please, and it's not like they're saying they don't want to see you anymore because your kid didn't say it. It's a reasonable request and a reasonable excuse for why she doesn't say, please, so much yet. So I don't see much of an actual conflict here. Not the asshole. You seem to be doing a great job at getting your daughter to enforce her boundaries, and with consistent teaching the please will come in time. You are the asshole.